Today we are learning the basic shit. If you know the deck, you can get the fuck out. Because I'm not addressing you. I promise you don't know as much as you think you do. But for the new players, to the Mermail Atlantean deck, I got you in this video. I got you. Ooh, ooh. Pretty soon you won't need those floaties. One step at a time.
What's up, everybody? Sorry about that weird voice. Let's just, yeah, I'm here to teach you how to play Mermails. For my regular viewers, this is not a video for you. You already know how to play. You guys are all champions. You're all smarter than me. This is for the people who are brand new to the archetype. They don't know anything about it. They don't know which cards are which. They heard something about Mermails in the past. This is going to be a video series that I'm putting out. Obviously, I'm not going to put them out back to back, but it's going to be slowly teaching more and more about the Mermail deck, and eventually I'll go into advanced combos and just rules that people are not aware of and probably have been making mistakes for years in their locals. So this first video, though, volume 1, is going to be for the absolute newbies. They're still wearing their training flippers. If you like this video, please splash that like button. Then you can swim on over to that buoy bell and tap it. Also, join the reef. Click the subscribe button. Come on, man. Do you think fish are cool? Well, then you're gonna love this deck. All right, it's amazing. It's anybody who has an appreciation for the ocean, all things water. This is probably, in my opinion, the best water archetype in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And you probably have played against a Mermail deck and was like, what happened? I just got slapped by a goldfish. What is this deck? Well, I'm going to answer that. If I miss out on something, I'm sure someone in the comments will let me know. Okay, welcome to the basic class for Mermail Atlanteans. I will not be going over any kind of extra stuff like extenders or cards that are not of the Atlantean Mermail archetypes, but we will be going over the basic idea for Mermails, what they're trying to do, what they were designed for, and I will tell you right now, the original design for Mermail Atlanteans was going second in OTKing, and they do a very good job of doing that. The general term for the deck is Mermails, even though it's Mermail Atlanteans, but whenever you see it listed, it always goes under the name Mermails. It is a deck comprised of two separate archetypes. You have your Atlanteans, and then you have your Mermails. Your Atlanteans will be sent to the depths, the grave over here, by your Mermail cards or by Neptibus. You can see I have 5 cards right here. The only card we're going to be paying attention to today, even though they're all stunning and gorgeous, is this guy right here, Neptibus the Atlantean Prince. He is the enabler of all of your combos, essentially, if you think about it, and he's one of the most powerful level 1s in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! He has multiple effects that we will go over right now. I'm going to be going over the most basic OTK combo that there is. First, we are going to normal summon our Neptibus. That is, oh god, what the fuck was that? Yes, I will be using language in this. I don't care if it's a basic course. You're not 4. You can hear language. Yeah, Neptibus summons with the Banshee Scream, apparently. We're going to activate Neptibus, and this will open up your Atlantean toolbox. But yeah, so you have 3 different cards here to choose from that Neptibus can send. He sends and adds Atlantean monsters because he is the prince, like the commander, if you will. There are 3 cards. Atlantean Marksmen. If he is sent to the depths, to the grave, to activate a water monster effect, you can pop a face down card. Now, this card has fallen out of favor lately in today's meta because a lot of cards can just activate, trigger their effect anyway. It's not like he negates their effect, it just pops them. So a lot of times, if it's not a battle trap, they're just going to flip it, activate the effect anyway. Sometimes it is good. If you're playing against something like Tri-Brigades, you can send this from a water monster's effect to the grave, and then you can pop the revolt and then make them have to trigger the revolt. So it's kind of like that. You can play like that. But yeah, a lot of times it just fell out of favor. But it's still, that's what this card does. It pops face down cards. Moving on to Infantry. Oh, I'm not going to be going over their secondary effects because those are not part of the basic course. But yeah, so Infantry, same sort of thing, except instead of face down cards, he can pop face up cards. That's very, very strong, especially when someone has like a floodgate on the board, like a skill drain or some shit like that. Anything you can think of, you can send it with one of your Mermail cards. You can send it with Neptibus. And Neptibus's effects, the first sending to the grave is the cost. So they cannot negate the cost because he has to send one of these Atlantean monsters to the grave in order to add another one to his hand. So yeah, that's really, really good. Infantry is very, very good today. I run 3 in my deck, generally speaking, but that's for other combos and league plays and everything else. But yeah. Moving on to Dragoons, this is the main searcher of the deck. He gets to search any sea serpent. Let me say that again. Any sea serpent in your deck. The majority of your deck are sea serpents. All the fun, cool tech you throw in there, Lapis Dragon, Moulin Glacias. Fuck, man. All this stuff. Everything you have is, generally speaking, going to be some kind of form of a sea serpent. Any of the Atlantean monsters, any of the, well, not mermails, but you know what I'm saying. Very, very good. This is the main searcher. If you can have this in your hand with something that can pitch it to the grave, you're off to the races. And you can get a hold of things like Diva and stuff like that. So this is a very, very strong card. It used to be banned. It used to be at 1, then it went to 2, then it's at 3. So that's what the 3 cards do. Neptibus's effect is going to send one of these 3 to the graveyard in order to add one to your hand. So the first one is cost. So your opponent cannot interrupt the sending of the first card. That's very, very important. So something like a skill drain. So skill drain, stopping monsters on the board from using their effects. Well, it can't stop you from sending costs. That's a secondary thing. So that's a nifty little trick you can do with Neptibus. For this combo, the main idea of Mermails is sending modern monsters to the grave to activate their effects to interact with your opponent's board, essentially. So right now, we're going to be sending one of these monsters. You're always going to really want to go, especially if you go first, you're going to want to send Dragoons. All right, now since we paid that cost, now we can add one of these monsters to the hand. So we'll just say, whatever, an Infantry, doesn't matter. Now your Dragoons is going to activate since it was sent to the grave, and it lets you search any sea serpent. It's incredible. And that gives you access to all of these. So yeah, you're going to go ahead for the main OTK combo here. You're going to add an Abyss Megalo. Now, Abyss Megalo, he is our big beater. This is the machine that enables your OTK, essentially. He requires 2 water monsters in your hand, which is why the Neptibus's secondary effect after cost is so important, because that will allow you to pick what you want to put to your hand for Megalo to then ditch it and activate its effect. So, in this case, I grabbed an Infantry. I would do that if I had something on the opponent's side of the field face up that I wanted to remove. And otherwise, I would choose a Marksman if I had something face down that I wanted to remove. It's all about enabling your OTK to have nothing on your enemy's side of the field and then go in for game, which I will be showing you right now. So, right now, we have the Abyss Megalo in hand. Then you have Teus over here, which we're not going to use, but they're like brothers, 2 peas in a pod. They're the main level 7s that we run in this deck, but otherwise. So you're going to go ahead and activate your Abyss Megalo. And you're going to be sending 2 water monsters. And we're going to send our Dragoons and the Infantry added to hand. Now, Abyss Megalo, we get to choose where we want to put them. We're going to put them right here. Attack position. Okay, now we sent 2 water monsters to the grave. So, since both effects are mandatory when sent to the grave, I think it wants us to choose which one we want to activate as chain 1 and chain 2. They're mandatory, they have to be chosen. So, we're going to go ahead with chain 1, chain 2, and as the third chain, we're going to activate our Megalo here. Alright, now Megalo's effect, since it was chain 3, it's going to go first, and then we're going to add a Mizuchi to hand. This is the main equip spell that we use in Mermails, in this format at least. There are 3 different ones. One is for spells, one is for traps, one is for monster effects. They all give you a boost in attack. I believe the trap and the spell give you 800, and then the equip spell that negates monster effects gives you, I believe, 400. We used to use the Abyss Sphere trap, but it's no longer in favor. It's a little bit slow and whatever else. It's more like a Regeki break type of thing. But we don't use that shit anymore. But it's up to you. As a Mermail player, you can play however you want. But in this case, we play Mizuchi. Alright, so now that we sent the Dragoons to grave, he wants to search another Sea Serpent. Doesn't matter, we're just whatever, Moulin, who cares. So as you can see, Dragoons is not once per turn. Infantry never actually activated in the end because there's nothing to destroy on the opponent's side of the field. You cannot pop your own cards with Infantry, I must tell you that as well. Alright, but now they have Abyss Megalo on the field. You have your Neptibus on the field. Now you're going to activate Abyss Megalo's second effect. And he's going to send the Neptibus to activate Megalo's second effect. He sends an attack position water monster to the grave to allow him to attack twice. That's what gives you the OTK. Usually in this combo, you're sending Neptibus, which that triggers its secondary effect. If he's sent to the grave, he is allowed to special summon another Atlantean monster from the grave to the field. And then that's where you pick a Dragoons. The reason you pick Dragoons is because it has the highest attack, and now you activate your Mizuchi onto your Megalo. He becomes 3200. Now, if you do the math, you have 3200 times 2, that's 6400, plus 1800, that's 8200 damage. How many life points does this guy have? 8,000. So, now, you go into battle phase, you attack with your monsters. Bam. Bam. 0. He's at 0. That is the general OTK. That's why your Neptibus's searching matters. You want to be able to add cards to your hand that you can then ditch by the Megalo to remove cards on the field. That is essentially what the Mermail Atlantean combo wants to do. At least the general OTK basic bitch version of it. Okay, now I'm going to show you another interaction between the Mermails and the Atlanteans. So right away here we have Teus. We're going to activate the Teus. He needs 1 water monster in your hand. He can send it to the grave and then summon himself, and then he can search a Mermail monster level 4 or lower. So here we go. Sending the Dragoons, and then your Teus comes out. There you go, Dragoons in the grave activates, and as a chain 2, we're going to activate our Teus. And Teus is going to search the level 4 or lower Mermail monster. We're going to grab a Gund here. And we will grab, it doesn't matter, Marksmen. Okay? Alright, now we're going to start our combo here, the regular one with Neptibus. You have a Diva, you always want to use a Diva if you have that, but that's not for this combo series here. This is the basics course. Oh my fucking goodness, that sound every time. Alright, we're going to activate our Neptibus. We are going to set a Dragoons and then add an Infantry. There we go. Alright, Dragoons are going to activate, and now we're going to search out the Megalo. Okay, so easy so far? Should be. Alright, I know we're not going to get into something crazy, but we're going to go ahead and link off these two into something like our Mermail link monster, Abyss Lacia. There's Abyss Lacia. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and activate our Megalo in hand. We're going to send the marksman we searched as well as the gunned. If there was a face down card on my opponent's side of the field, they would be popped. Alright. Bringing out your big Megalo. Chain 1, marksman activates since it's mandatory, and then Megalo will be activating next as chain 2. Okay. And then as a third effect, because it's optional here, and it's just chain 3, always chain 3 is gunned. I'm going to go ahead and activate. Activate. Alright, and then now we're going to select our Abyss Teus with the effect of gunned. And chain 3 activates first. We can re-summon to the field our Teus. And then chain 2 was our Megalo. We're going to go ahead and search out our Abyss spell or trap. Alright, so that's what Gun does. She brings out Mermail monsters from the grave. If our Link monster were to die, as long as it has a Mermail in its name, it will be able to be pulled back out. It's pretty nice. So right here, now I'm going to show you another boss monster, another Mermail. This is like the Mermail shit. This is what we always do. Alright, so we're going to go in here, and this is our, like, the king of the entire deck here. His name's Abyss Gaios. I'm going to take our 2 level 7s. We're going to overlay. Bam! You can equip the equip spells to any Mermail creature, so... Bam! Look at that. He's 4100. Abyss Lacia. This is our Link monster. She has a very, very cool effect. You can interact with your opponent's turn, which is very strong. Quick effect. You can send any card from your hand to the graveyard, and then you can search a Mermail monster. So that's any card. It doesn't have to be a water monster. It can just be anything. So yeah, you can just send randomly a diva, whatever it is, or any kind of spell card, trap card, doesn't matter. And you can search out any Mermail monster, so that's very strong. But the best way to use Abyss Lacia, you can go ahead and... I like to always have an Infantry in hand. That way I can pop a card on their side of the field as a quick effect, which is very, very, very annoying for your opponent. It's pretty funny, actually. You can also search with a Dragoons effect. You can pop a face down card with Marksmen if that's what you have. So that's a very, very cool interaction. You can grab a Megalo off of that, whatever it is. And you can use pretty much anything in your deck to make it, that's the best part to me, is it's not specifically Mermail monsters. It's fish, aqua, sea serpent, doesn't matter. Any 2 of those, and you're good to go. She also buffs up any monsters that she's pointing to by 500, so... That's a lot. Like right now you can see the Gaios is at 4100, which is very, very good for Gaios. But Abyss Lacia, her second effect, if she is destroyed by card effect or battle by your opponent, you can send 1 water monster from your deck to your graveyard and then special summon in defense position a water monster from your grave. So you already popped one with Infantry. You can then send another Infantry and then special summon out anything you want from your grave. That's pretty strong. You can send a Goons and get another search off if you want to do that right before she dies. She obviously can't resummon herself since she has no defense. She can't be in a defense position. She's a Link monster. But it's a very, very strong effect. And there's some cool plays you can do with like Toad and stuff like that. But yeah, that's Abyss Lacia. Abyss Gaios, it's our XC monster, the one that matters. He takes 2 level 7s to make, which is usually going to be Teus and your Megalo. And while he's face up, level 5 or higher monsters cannot attack. Sometimes that can gimp you on your side, if you have any monsters level 5 or higher. And that also includes, you know, synchros and shit like that. So be careful of that effect. It might stop you from OTKing. The best part, Link monsters as well as XCs are not leveled. They're ranked. So it won't stop you from swinging in with all the crazy Link monsters, access code, whatever you choose to put in your deck. You can swing in with those too, so it won't really matter. You can detach material on either player's turn, and then during that turn, any monster that has less attack than it cannot use its effect. That's a 4100 beater right there. I don't know any deck out there that can just drop a 4K plus monster first card on the field. That's really not going to happen. But it is monsters on the field, so they still can use hand traps or whatever it is, activate from the hand. But any kind of like normal summon effects won't go off, special summon effect, nothing like that. So it's really, really, really strong. It's a really strong floodgate monster. Yeah, I love it. So yeah, that's Abyss Gaios and Abyss Lacia. And that's all we're going to talk about in this beginner's guide to Mermails. So, I hope you learned something. I didn't go into any of the advanced play, no combos, nothing like that. All I did was show you how the engine functions and what the cards do. I'm learning every day, and I plan on, you know, do what a substitute teacher does. They just learn something the day before and then they spew it at you at school. Well, that's what I plan to do here. If I don't know something, I will find out and I will teach it to you as if I knew it, because I'm a scam. Anyway, before you go, please splash that like button. Then you can froggy paddle on over that buoy bell and smack that bitch right in its face. That bell will let you know when I put out all my new stuff. Quality stuff, hopefully. I'm out here trying, guys. And then you can press the subscribe button. Please join the reef. We got a busy reef already, but I want more and more conversation in the comments. I'm trying to start a little community here, and no better way than to add one little fish at a time. Be that fish, please. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye!